Hello everyone and welcome to game 2 in this series. Game 2 taking place here on Terminus Ray. Kaz spawning as the blue Terran player here at the 6 o'clock position. Let's take a look at what version of Terminus Ray this is. Natural expansion, destructible rocks, a full expansion here, no destructible rocks here. Meaning that the Zerg player will have a little bit more of a difficult time trying to establish their third early on in the game, but it will not be nearly as exposed. Now, game 1 in this series, a real back and forth matchup, a rather long game for StarCraft 2, and a really macro intensive, heavy macro game. It felt like Zenio had the chokehold on Kaz for quite a while, but then was unable to execute, unable to continue his advantage, and then ended up dropping game 1 in this series. In game 2, we'll see what lessons he's learned, how he's going to respond after playing against Kaz, and perhaps knowing his style and having a better approach. Kaz is continuing to train up more SCVs. It's going to be that standard build, 10 depot, 12 racks, and then we'll see if he goes for a 13 gas. 13 gas once again does indicate of more tech, more harassment style. If there is no gas, then you can assume that he's going to be going for a faster command center and then more marines and bunkers, more of a defensive style. And it looks like it will be that harassment style coming in from Kaz. Kaz, though, with that harassment style, those Hellions need to deal damage. If they don't take down units, if they don't stop creep tumor spread, then Zenio will be able to simply macro up, get a strong economy, run off of 3 bases, and fight this all back. Now, in game 1, we didn't see Zenio go for roaches, and if I ever interview Zenio after a game, I would have asked why he didn't go for those roaches, knowing that his opponent did have a lot of Hellions. Now, Zenio may try to go for roaches a little bit earlier this time in order to clear out these rocks. Trying to use Zerglings to take down anything with 3 armor, rather difficult, especially with no upgrades at all. As these players scout each other out, as they're figuring out what strategies they're going to want to execute, and what the general overall plan is, you're going to see that there is in fact a refinery coming in from Kaz. So Kaz will be able to build a factory off over here. He needs to just lower a supply depot, build a factory, and then add on a reactor. You're going to see it being exactly that in just a moment. And because this is full cross spawns, those Hellions are going to take a little bit longer to get there. Now, it doesn't look like... actually, no, Zenio has changed up his build a little bit. This time, he has not gone for early gas at all. So his metabolic boost will be a little bit delayed. No metabolic boost, but he is double training queens already. Will be able to just keep up that production very, very high as more and more more and more larvae will come out, grow up to be drones. Now, the reactor is about to be finished. You are going to see that swap here in a moment as the command center has been started by Kaz. About 100 seconds. Actually, yeah, about 50. Actually, it's about 23 seconds. I guess that I shouldn't say about if I say try to do the actual math for you. About 25 seconds behind that hatchery being completed there. So overall, about 2 minutes. As we see, Hellions will be trained, and Hellions going to try to do that harassment. Now, the spine crawler should already be completed. There it is. And Zenio needs to perhaps do a bit of Sim City, building up a spine crawler here. If he does build a spine crawler here, it will force the Hellions to run around that spine crawler, making it so that they are within range of those spine crawlers. Sorry, run around this ramp here, and then perhaps be forced to engage against those Hellions, against those spine crawlers, as we now see a creep tumor being established. 2 Hellions will try to control that creep spread now, poking up that ramp, or poking up this narrow choke point, getting to get some easy damage onto the queens, and just staying right outside combat range, and now doing a little bit of burn and run as a second spine crawler has been completed. Kaz now currently behind in food, 35 to 48. As we see a third base being established by Kaz. Marines are attempting to take down these destructible rocks. And it doesn't look like Zenio has opted or is looking for another expansion just quite yet. Now, Kaz at this stage, he doesn't want to expand any more than this. If he expands one more than his opponent, he is going to be spread very, very thin. And Zerg on creep and even off of creep after metabolic boost, very fast and very effective at getting to where they need to be and getting where they want to go. Marines still looking to try to take down these rocks. It looks like it will be quite some time until it is done. It looks like more Marines being added, but no Marauders in that group, as we are also building a reactor on the factory, and it should have a starport attached to it in just a moment. Marines about getting those rocks to halfway. We may see an upgrade to an orbital command first, as Kaz is going to continue to fire away at these rocks. The upgrade to orbital command does take only 35 seconds. If more Marines were actually there firing, it should come out about the same time. There you go. Finally, I'm joining in 2 more Marines. The destructible rocks should be close to destruction as that orbital command lifts off and then land once more. Hellions are positioning themselves to be able to see any units if they fly out or walk out of that base. The rocks still have a good amount of hit points on them, about 300 to go. But with 6 Marines now, it should fall. And we'll see how strong Kaz's economy will be. Harvester count 39 to 53, but the additional 8 mineral patches will definitely help as we now start to see medevacs picking up units and perhaps going for a bit of a drop. Kaz also looking to double expand or trying to establish some additional gas. Currently with 4 harvesters on this gas, I do not think this is going to be something he's going to catch. Just 1 extra idle SCV trying to mine additional gas. Overseer does fly by. It does see the orbital command here. This is not good news for Zenio. Zenio has just finished taking down those destructible rocks, but he is still now very much behind. We are going to get a drop in here now, as Zenio, I do not believe, knows about those medevacs. This is a definite issue. The Hellions are going to drop here in just a moment. There you go. The Hellions are down. And now no drones down here, as the Marines are going to force a cancellation on this hatchery, take down the drone, and perhaps try to run up. The high ground does have some spine crawlers here. The Marines are not upgraded, and the Hellions have to be careful. Banelings may find their targets. Yes, they do. And this entire attack force, save 5 Marines and 2 medevacs, have been pushed back. 51 drones, 50 SCVs. More siege tanks being added once more. Siege tech not yet done. Will be done in about 15 seconds, as we now see refineries being placed down by Kaz. Missile turrets also need to be established as well. Currently training up 2 Mutalisks, 3 Mutalisks right now in order to cause some harassment. But I believe Kaz is going to be one step ahead in this situation and build those missile turrets and pretty much minimize the amount of harassment that those Mutalisks can do, unless he does get a critical mass, a large number of them, that can essentially one-shot all of those turrets. You can see Zenio now on a craze, a queen on a mission to spread creep to every corners of the map. Another expansion being built down by Zenio here at the 3 o'clock location. So this is the standard Zerg double expand now, as he doesn't want to fall. Marines were able to push their way down over here. I believe they do spot this hatchery, but is unable to force a cancellation, as the medevac pretty much leaves home empty-handed. No more Marines either. Mutalisks are trying to fly in from the far side, as Zenio unable to really find any openings, and Kaz playing very, very well right now. Missile turrets, he's buying his time, he's macroing, he knows that he doesn't need to expand nearly as much or nearly as quickly against a Zerg player, as the Zerg player is going to be forced to hold 5 bases. You can see a starting location at the 9 position and the natural expansion at the 3 position now being established. Creep tumors now still marching their way out. And with 8 creep tumors here, this creep spread should pretty much be almost instantaneous. Creeps could do another push here in just a moment. Mutalisks still fly now, perhaps trying to regroup with their brethren. You can see that the Mutalisks are here now, getting almost up to 16 in number, as one missile turret does fall. No, it does not fall. They're finally falling, but a couple of Mutalisks were destroyed in that engagement too. Medevac looking to fly around the far side. Mutalisks looking to perhaps push in through that front door. One Medevac over here. Zerglings are going to get underneath it. Only 4 Marines. That's not going to be enough, as the missile turrets now pushing back against these Mutalisks. One Mutalisk is down. A second Mutalisk may get taken down, but some SCVs are getting lost in the exchange as well. There's one SCV. There's 3 SCVs. Perhaps one Mule, as the Medevacs finally make their way in. Missile turret still, missile turret's being replaced now. One medevac looks like it will be destroyed. This base over here, there are a few number of Marines just dropping from the sky, finishing off some of those drones. More drones just getting taken out, as Zenio unable to deal with the multiple drops just quite yet, as the Mutalisks always seem to be out of position. Marines were attempting to chase down a Mutalisk, are not able to do so. But the Marines will be able to finish off this hatchery if they focus fire it down. It looks like they will be doing exactly that. Broodlings do spawn, but this is going to force Zenio to lose a lot of mining time here, as any long distance mining needs to travel quite a ways away in order to return and drop off those resources. Now, an attack force from Kaz. Kaz is upgraded 2-1 with 1-0 upgraded mech units. Mutalisks are upgraded 0-1. As we see Zerglings running off to the north for Zenio again. Medevacs getting to the party. Marines now going to simply just sit there and attack that hatchery. The hatchery going to fall in a matter of seconds. Will we see a counterattack? And it looks like we are, as the Mutalisks going in after those Marines. Not much of a food fight, or not much food fighting here. Food fighting here for Kaz, as Zenio having a lot of Mutalisks and only a handful of Marines to really deal with this Mutalisk harassment, especially as Zerglings now coming in to clean. The Mutalisk looking to perhaps take down this base here. The missile turret should be able to finish, or the missile turret is going to get taken down by the Zerglings, as the Mutalisk is going to perhaps finish off this orbital command, already down to 400 hit points. It will drop quickly, and now Zenio taking the upper hand in this game. We are now down to 2 bases, and 2 bases only for Kaz. His harvester count at 75 compared to 74, but with oversaturation in his main base, that is not good news at all. One Thor attempting to fight back against all of these Mutalisks. In comes some more Zerglings to finish off the job, as Kaz now 4 food behind, but it feels like Zenio is ahead even though he has less resources. A new expansion being established here at the 12 o'clock center map location. Zerglings still flocking around on the ground, perhaps wanting to run up into a planetary fortress, but I think really Zenio sacrificed too many units at a planetary fortress this time. We'll see if he does change things around as the Zerglings do back off. There is no Terran building plating, and there is no autosec cannon being researched either, so, or not. Sorry, of course there's no autosec cannon. Wrong term. The autosec tracking in order to get +1 range on all of the missile turrets and the planetary fortress. Thors are upgraded 1-0 now, soon or just starting the 2-0 upgrades, allowing for 2-shotting many of those Mutalisks as long as they do not have armor, but they do in fact have 2 armor, really minimalizing their damage that they receive. Marines turning back around. Kaz with a rather large attack force, keeping them all together, keeping them alive. You can see engineering bays, 58 Marines, and what is in here, 5 more Marines in this group, and we should be getting an attack here in just a moment. Marines attempting to fight down a swarm of Mutalisks, but the Mutalisks do back off. Zerglings and Banelings now perhaps going to flank, attack where it is open, and try to put pressure, forcing all of these units to retreat, and it looks like it will be exactly that. So many Banelings and Zerglings hanging around by the Zonaga Tower. It is going to reveal all these Marines coming in, and the Mutalisk really won't be able to do much. One siege tank down, a second siege tank down, so cleaning up a couple of free easy shots there as the Zerglings and Banelings are trying to splash against all of these Marines getting detonated left and right, but the Mutalisk may be able to finish off all the Thors. 158 versus 153. As 2 more Thors now being trained, the level 2 claw attack, level 3 infantry, level 2 armor, level 2 vehicle now being researched. Drop coming in now. It looks like the Marines should focus down that Queen in just a matter of seconds. Banelings are now on a roll. This is going to be bad news for those Banelings. Banelings do start to split, able to split them up, making sure that the Banelings actually only detonate against 1 or 2 Marines at a time. Marines finishing off these Zerglings here, as we now see Marines attempting to finish off this hatchery here. Yes, this hatchery will fall once more, and now again Zenio essentially only mining off of 3 bases, even though at some moments ago I thought he was ahead. A Greater Spire now being built. You can see a lot of gases being saved up for those, almost wanted to say Guardians, for those Broodlords, as Broodlords are quite gas intensive. Medevac trying to do a drop, won't be able to do anything about that. You can see Zerglings are positioned all across the map. A new expansion here by Zenio at the 3 o'clock position, as the Mutalisks are now simply going to make their way down and perhaps snipe down another Medevac once more. There goes that Medevac now, and we'll see whether or not Zenio will be able to hold on to these 2 bases. It does really come down to these 2 bases versus Kaz's 3 now, as Kaz is going to establish another outside base. Sensor tower also being built. You can see that the drones are just simply walking in a single file line. No Hellions to really capitalize on that, as drones getting just taken out by the shell shock from these siege tanks. Marines looking to do another hatchery snipe, and it looks like they will be successful, as there are no units coming in from the other side of the map. Marines looking to finish off all of these Broodlings, as we see now finally 2 Corruptors in the air. Infestors, Mutalisks, Zerglings, Banelings, and where is this engagement? Banelings now attempting to roll in, able to find a couple of those targets. More Marines getting destroyed, as the Broodlings just causing problems for those Marines. Broodlords continuing to battle it out. The Broodlords do have 3 armor, severely reducing the amount of damage that these stores do from 8 down to 5. So yeah, very, very heavy damage reduction, as we now see Infestors making their way in. Fungal growth about to pop on for all of those siege tanks. More damage was taken, and both sides just trying to take an advantage and win a war of attrition. This hatchery has been destroyed. Taking a look here at the center, Zenio has a whole bunch of drones in his what I would call his 4th or 5th base, now establishing another base in the center portion of the map. Difficult to defend, but at the same time, all of your units will be produced that much more closer to your opponent's army. Broodlords now simply walking inside the base here. There are not that many Vikings, only 2 Vikings now being trained. The Marines getting all caught up on their other units. Down they go. You can see a sensor tower has been repaired, as we now have Zerglings attempting to take down or perhaps push back this attack here on the far side of the map. Marines and tanks finishing off a hatchery before any real serious mining could be done. The Marines now trying to shoot down a Broodlord. 1 Broodlord does go down. A second Broodlord may go down. No, it does not go down, as we are going to see more units just still continue to push in off over here. That is a lot of siege tanks. We'll see how they're going to be utilized. No repairing though, so those Broodlings may finish it off in just a matter of seconds. Broodlings now making their way in, just raining Broodlings. Broodlords making their way in. Broodlings raining from the sky. Siege tanks coming in of Infestors. No fungal growth that I can see. Perhaps the fungal growth will go down here in just a moment. There's a fungal growth. Multiple units being destroyed. siege tanks getting destroyed, infestors now dropping infested Terrans, and now the infested Terrans taking down many of these production buildings. Kaz now looks like he's in trouble, as he's the one to first lose production buildings. Planetary Fortress does not have that Terran steel plating on those buildings, but it does have 32 kills. The barracks now about to be destroyed here, as the Queen quickly comes over to lend a hand and heal up the rest of these units. Barracks have been destroyed here. There's still a few more barracks off over here, as the front door is pretty much wide open now for the picking. You can see all these units are now just outside the natural expansion. Where am I? Yeah, just outside the natural expansion, as SCVs coming off the mineral line to perhaps harvest some minerals from this planetary fortress over here at the 3 o'clock position instead. Broodlords still raining down more broodlings onto these SCVs. Ghosts now coming in with massive snipe. There goes one Broodlord. Vikings perhaps could be coming in as well. And Zenio may not have enough time to quickly and accurately respond. You can see that there are currently a few Ghosts with energy. Vikings now going after Corruptors, as the Broodlords do not have that much armor, as the units are once again backing away once more. Both sides still trying to hold on to their own. More transfusions, EMP shockwaves, more units getting taken out left and right. It looks like the Overseer will not get taken down, as the Corruptor does back off a little bit, and Zenio now losing many of his Broodlords again. So what I thought was a good battle for Zenio now all of a sudden turning upside down once again. Marines, Vikings, and Ghosts making this push very effective, as the Banelings now simply come back around and then roll over Kaz. Kaz now in trouble. He's now trying to train up 13 Marines at a time. Meanwhile, the Broodlords have pretty much gone unanswered, with 4 of them now in the air. More Corruptors being added. You can see a Viking has made its way over. One Viking looks like it will get taken out, but with so many Corruptors, I do not believe... Yeah, with so many Corruptors, I do not believe these Vikings can really do anything until more of their Viking brethren do make it out into the field. Now, Kaz looking to defend here, wants to defend this attack at all cows. Zenio wanting to hope to just finish it and wrap this up, as the Vikings and the Corruptors are both battling it out. The Corruptors chasing after those Vikings. The Vikings, however, using their superior range to attack while not being able to be attacked. But the Corruptors do have superior movement speed, as the Broodlings still chomping away at this planetary fortress. The planetary fortress plus Zerglings. It looks like the numbers are starting to dwindle now, as Marines and Vikings. Oh, a nice fungal growth coming in once again from Kaz, as the Corruptors are looking to finish off this job. Zerglings and Banelings now making their way in and blowing everything up. And now there's only one Thor left, or sorry, 3 Thors left, as the Corruptors are looking to perhaps pull back and live to fight another day. There are no more Broodlords that I can... No, sorry, 2 more Broodlords that I can see back over here. There are some Vikings here. I believe those Broodlords will be addressed in just a moment, but one Broodlord does go down. A second Broodlord may fall. There it goes, as we now have Kaz moving in with this very large, very powerful Terran army. So can almost simply A-move with it at this stage. Marines are upgraded 3-3. Thors are upgraded 2-0. Corruptors are upgraded 2-1. Broodlords the same. And Zerglings 3-3, but still with no crackling upgrade. I always wonder about why don't you get the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands very effective, as we see Zerglings now making their way into the base of Kaz. There's a fungal growth dealing a lot of damage. One more fungal growth could pretty much end all of these SCVs here, as you can see the Broodlords just attacking in safety. There goes another round of detonation. SCVs trying to repair themselves, or trying to repair try to repair their friend, but ultimately they do get destroyed. Zenio now continuing this push with Infestors and Broodlords and Corruptors, doing a great job. It looks like these units will all be forced to back off. The Corruptor may end up losing. Yes, Corruptor causes that medevac to lose a Thor, as the Marines are now pushing into this base here. So that base has now been destroyed. So mass Marines 3 upgraded Marines dealing so much damage and now cleaning up the center, but Kaz is in trouble. Kaz now down to 60 food, 27 Harvesters, 6 Marines, 4 Ghost, and there is the GG. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Game 2 in this series between Kaz and Zenio.